Welcome back to Retirement Solutions for All Ages. We've spent the last half year and 24 episodes building your forever money and debunking mortgage myths. But eventually, the goal isn't just to save, it's to live. In this episode, I've added some tips and warnings to save you thousands of dollars. For decades, one state has been the North Star for retirees, and that is Florida. But is the Sunshine State still the gold standard, or are the clouds starting to roll in? Today, we're diving into the 5 pros and 5 cons of retiring in Florida to see if it's truly the right move for your equity and your lifestyle. The 5 pros: number 1, the tax-friendly climate. Let's start with the biggest financial win: no state income tax. In Florida, the state doesn't touch your Social Security benefits, your 401k withdrawals, or your pension. When we talk about forever money, keeping that extra 4% to 8% of your income, which you'd lose in states like New York or Illinois, is a massive boost to your monthly cash flow. Number 2, the Homestead Exemption. Florida loves its homeowners. Under the Homestead Exemption, if you make Florida your permanent residence, you can decrease the assessed value of your home by up to $50,000 for property tax purposes. More importantly, the Save Our Homes cap limits increases in property tax assessments to 3% annually. It's predictability in an unpredictable market. Now, the Homestead Exemption sounds like a set it and forget it win, right? Whoops. Let me tell you a quick story about a timing mistake that cost me $4,000 in my first year and even more every year after. Imagine this. You buy your Florida dream home on December 5th. You're moved in by December 30th. You think you're ahead of the game because the application deadline isn't until March 1st. Here's the kicker. To qualify, your Florida driver's license and car registration needed to be switched over by January 1st. If you wait until February to update your ID, the county property appraiser might tell you better luck next year. You can apply for an exception, but there are no promises. In Florida, if you aren't a legal resident on paper by New Year's Day, that tax break vanishes into the humidity. Number 3, active adult infrastructure. Florida isn't just a place, it's an ecosystem designed for seniors. From world-class healthcare clusters like the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville to master-planned communities like the Villages, the infrastructure for aging in place with a high quality of life is unmatched. I will say that the average age in many areas have been getting younger, especially after the pandemic. Number 4, the permanent vacation lifestyle. This is the emotional win. With over 1,300 miles of coastline and an average of 230 plus days of sunshine, your physical health often improves simply because you're more active. Whether it's golf, pickleball, or just walking the beach, the Florida effect on longevity is a real factor. Number 5, proximity to family, the grandkid factor. Because Florida is a top tourist destination, you don't have to beg family to visit. You become the fun grandparent with the pool or the Disney passes. In the business of retirement, staying connected to family is the greatest return on investment there is. The 5 cons. First, the insurance crisis, the reality check. We have to talk about the elephant in the room: homeowners insurance. Because of the hurricane risk, Florida's average premium is now nearly $11,000 per year, more than triple the national average. If you are on a fixed income, this is a line item that can eat your tax savings for breakfast. The good news is that in the past year, insurance prices seem to have moderated. Also, if you're a homeowner and received an increased skyrocketing bill, you don't have to accept it. Florida has an insurance of last resort, and if your company raises the price too fast, you can switch. However, if you don't know this and you accept the high price, you are stuck. Second, the humidity and the heat moat. Everyone loves February in Florida, but from June to September, it is a heat moat. We are talking about humidity levels that make a 10-minute walk feel like a marathon. If you have respiratory issues or just hate the heat, you might find yourself housebound for 4 months a year. This works in reverse to your advantage most of the time in Marco Island, Naples, and other coastal Gulf. That's GULF communities. You have a heat sink where the heat is absorbed by the surrounding waters. Also, if it gets too hot and humid, at approximately 3 p.m. daily, you'll have a 15-minute thunderstorm that will drop the humidity like an anchor at sea. Third, the crowding factor and cost of living. Florida is no longer the cheap secret it was 20 years ago. With nearly 1,000 people moving here a day, infrastructure is struggling. Traffic in hubs like Tampa, Orlando, and Miami is brutal, and the cost of groceries and services has risen faster than the national average in many Florida metros. Fourth, impact of extreme weather. It's not just the wind, it's the water. Even if you aren't on the coast, inland flooding and the stress of hurricane season, June through November, can be a mental burden. You have to have a go bag and an evacuation plan. That's a psychological cost of living here. Finally, the transient feel. Because so many people move in and out or only live here as snowbirds for 6 months, it can be harder to build deep, long-lasting community roots compared to a stable, multi-generational neighborhood up north. Or if you've worked hard up north and now have time, you could make even more friends down here like I did. So, is Florida still the ultimate retirement? It depends on your math. If your tax savings outpace your insurance premiums and you prioritize sunshine over 4 seasons, it's a win. If you're thinking about retiring to Florida, or if you simply want to explore your retirement living options, let's have an informed, personalized conversation. You can reach me directly by phone at 828-888-LOAN. That's 828-888-LOAN. Thanks for joining me on Retirement Solutions for All Ages. If this episode sparked new insights for you, please leave us a review, share it with a friend who might benefit from these strategies, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future insights. Until next time, I'm Ruth, the retirement mortgage expert, helping you make every year your best year.